Welcome to How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
Marhaba, this is Chuck Campbell with
Wayne Bledsoe, and
I'm John Baker.
That's a little hello to Kuwait today.
Oh, okay.
I saw them pop up, and I thought, have we had Kuwait before? And we hadn't had Kuwait. So I hope our Kuwaiti listener enjoyed it and will return and tell their friends about it. This is episode 104. It's our second anniversary. We're marking the end of 2 years at this podcast. A year ago, we did our first anniversary show, which wasn't like a big special show, but we just kind of talked about what we've learned and what we've done and what kind of people, who was responding to us and all that. So we figured we'll look back again this time. And my first thought was, our first anniversary show, right off the bat, we said, I can't believe it's been a year. Has this been a year already? And blah, blah, blah. And listening to that, I thought, I can't believe it's been a year since we were talking about how we couldn't believe it's been a year. It seemed like an even shorter frame. I think that's part of just getting older and time. The older you get, the quicker time seems to go because you've got more reference point. That's why, like, you remember how long, like, second grade, third grade seemed. Oh, my God, it was like lifetime, and
It
now.
was like waiting for Christmas to get here.
And
now I dread Christmas.
Yeah, I'm already dreading it. We're not even in
second
summer.
grade, it's like, you're 8 years old, so that year's 1/8 of your life.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing,
Yeah.
And when you're 50, it's 1/50th of your life. So, it's just a relativism, I guess, or whatever. But anyway, I really can't believe it, and we're still learning as we go. Wayne, we both talked about things that we do all the time. You were talking about how you say all the time, and I was talking about how for some reason I would go right over and over again. Every time either one of you said something, I just felt compelled to say right. And I never done that before. Well, I think we've both cut down on our knows and rights.
I've cut down. I still do it, but I've cut down.
Yeah, me too.
Right. I don't know if I have any mannerisms or not.
No, I don't think you do. I can't think of any.
You don't use placeholders like I do. Placeholder words.
And I didn't notice you did a lot until you said you did. I just would hear myself saying right. And I was like, where did I come up with that? I don't even do that.
We're always more self-critical.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny. I got to tell you, I was this morning, I was with Sarah, and I told her what the topic was going to be. And I said, you got any ideas for what we got to talk about? And she says, well, is the honeymoon over? And it's not. It's like,
no, I don't think so. No.
It's like, you and I have been friends for over 30 years, and John and I have been friends for 20 years, probably, something like that, maybe 25.
Yeah.
And, I don't get tired of you guys.
No. One thing we all do is the getting hung up on something and trying to think of something. I mentioned in the last week, I think it was, where we need a Google person just to sit here and quick Google things. But we're getting better about moving on in that. Yeah. So, like, I'll be saying, he was in that group with us, so I don't know. And then we just move on. We just carry on,
Well, we could use AI to listen to us, but it would give us the wrong name. So.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. True that. I don't know. We could edit out some of this stuff, but I mentioned this last time, like a year ago, that my podcast schooling, they advised against over-editing your podcast, because I've heard some of those that are really edited and you don't hear a or right. or like what was it, or you don't hear that at all, and it sounds so clipped and so unnatural,
so worked on.
Yeah, and what it does is it makes the audience uncomfortable, and it puts them off even more than rambling or knowing or whatever.
You just said and I just said right.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, it's contagious.
We've cursed each other.
Well, I think one thing that we have learned and that we've leaned into more in this past year is that at first we were just saying songs about winter or whatever that was, or songs with animals in them or whatever, and we've gotten a lot more subjective, and I think they've been more interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about ourselves more, actually.
Yeah, and we were encouraged to do that, and I was reluctant, but once I started, it's like, oh my God, I won't stop talking about myself now. But
I also think that we've just gotten to have more faith in it.
Yeah,
that we're going to be able to fill up, 45 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes with interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I don't come in with 5 pages of notes anymore. It's usually just 2 or
4.
3. Yeah, well, 2 or 3. And yeah, and I know we can talk, off the cuff. We could come in with no topic, but I don't want to do that.
Right.
But, and we'd be fine, I'm sure.
Yep.
But I'm glad that we do the personal stuff, though, because one thing I don't like about nerds about anything is when they just get deep into just self-indulgent stuff and just talking facts. And when people start talking just to show what they know, it's like no one wants to hear that. And we don't do that, and we're like, oh, that reminds me of so-and-so, or maybe, whatever. And anyway, I appreciate that we, even though we're probably music nerds, we at least aren't insufferable with it,
We've already established that you're not really a nerd.
I'm not.
John
really
and
a
I
nerd.
are.
Well, I didn't
You
want to
are
say,
not.
even though you two are music
John's
nerds.
less so. But.
Yeah.
Well, I'm nerdy about numerous things.
Well, but it's like you know all the stuff about recording, and I don't know anything about recording, but you could nerd out on record. I've heard you nerd out about recording.
Oh, yeah, I can.
Consoles and techniques.
Microphones.
Yes, I've heard you nerd out about that, so,
Oh, I know. I'm not ashamed of that.
No, and you shouldn't be. It's like you're a
I'm
recording
happy
engineer.
if I see somebody that's really into anything. I mean,
Yeah.
unless they're hurting other people.
Yeah.
But I mean, I indifferent people who just kind of go, just watch TV and play video games.
Right.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
It's so funny. I mean, since I retired, I have all these people asking me, what's it like being retired? You get bored? And it's like, I haven't been bored since 1980.
Wow.
I'm never bored.
I'm never bored. I'm never bored.
No.
No.
How can you be bored in the world we live in?
Yeah, there's so much to pay attention to.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I have so much stuff I have to turn off that I'm interested in to look at something else. I mean, I wish that, I want to, again, start getting into more new music and things like that, which I slowly am starting to do again. But, man, I've never seen how you could not be interested in everything going on, and, yeah, you could be bored.
Yeah. And I guess I understand. I remember as a kid saying to my mom, I'm bored. And they're like, just go outside.
Yeah.
And it's like, how arrogant is that to say I'm bored?
Yeah, I mean, we took that advice. I mean, if you did go outside, it's like, well, here's this cool-looking bug.
Yeah, sure.
People bring over a couple of snakes. Oh, my neighbor's going to love this. I had some friends who found some big gray rat snakes. They were eating their birds. And I said, well, bring over to my house. I'll put them out in my yard. So I brought these 2 great big snakes that I put out in my yard a couple of days ago. And it's like, I could
Black
watch.
snakes or?
Yeah, big black. They're gray rat snakes, but they're mostly black.
Right.
But, I could have watched those snakes for an hour and been entertained just watching them. I mean, they immediately started crawling up trees. But, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, they're great.
Ooh.
And they were not aggressive. Rat snakes are not aggressive. So it was like I could have picked them up, but I just put them out there, and they were right by our feet, and they were, like, chilling. And
I don't
like
mind
Bob
them in
Dylan?
the yard. Yeah. I don't mind snakes in the yard, but snakes in the lake, that's what creeps me out.
Well, water
down on
snakes
the
can be
dock.
aggressive.
Yeah. Well, just to see them scooting along on the surface of the water.
Well, most of the time they're just curious, but they can be territorial and aggressive, and people think that they're cottonmouths when they're not. We don't have cottonmouths in East Tennessee. Yeah.
Well, I don't wait to find out.
Yeah, but they can bite you and give you an infection because their mouths are generally very bacteria-filled.
Ew,
Same
okay.
with cats.
Yeah. Yeah. So, snake or a cat. These days I'll take a snake.
I prefer cats, but that's just me.
Where do dogs fall in that? I think dogs pant more, so they kind of...
I don't think their mouths are as dirty.
No, I
I
think
don't think they
people
are.
probably have dirtier mouths than
Probably.
dogs.
Well, my wife, our former cat, who's no longer with us, but
Right.
he bit my wife's right hand, and she had to have 3 surgeries.
Oh, my
Wow.
gosh.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh,
A couple
wow.
of years back, because cats' mouths are just dirty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She did infected, got all infected. It was bad.
And you'd think it'd be dogs because they clean out the cat boxes.
Well, I don't have a cat box, and my dog doesn't. And I just see her panting all the time and drool coming out. I thought, well, she's kind of self-cleaning here.
Yeah, well, saliva. Saliva
Yeah.
will clean.
Yeah. I've got some advice for people. We're 3 Southern guys. We're 3
Appalachian guys.
Appalachian guys. Yeah, East Tennesseans. And I notice I have to go back and listen to us more than you all have to. I listened to it the first time just to make sure, it went okay. And then I go back and I listen to them each episode a couple more times to like pull an excerpt to do a little social promo. And I noticed that when I listen to other podcasts, people tend to talk faster than we do.
Yeah.
So what you can do, if you've got a podcast platform that allows you to do this, and almost all of them do, you can speed us up a little bit. I would recommend like 1.5. We sound a little chipmunky, but it'll speed us up if we're not talking fast enough.
Right.
And you'll still hear everything. If you get up to 2.0, you're not going to hear a lot of stuff. But just in case you want to save a little time.
I think that makes sense. I've done that with different interviews or things that I've seen. If you can, a lot of times, if you're on YouTube and you're watching it on your phone, if you put your finger on it, it'll automatically speed up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I think it's YouTube. It's either that or Facebook Reels. One of them, I put my finger on it and I realized, it speeds it up another like half notch.
Well, on these podcast platforms, you just look and it'll default to a 1.0. If you see a little 1.0, click on that, and like a menu will come up, and you can slow us down if for some reason we're talking too fast. I can't imagine that. Right. But you can also, it gives you like a digital, 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, 2.0. Sometimes it'll go more than that. So just a pointer. And you can hear us many places. We're primarily heard on, what's the matter, Wayne?
I was just looking to make sure that it was recording over there. I didn't see any movement.
It is.
Okay. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Oh, gotcha. There we go.
Okay.
It's just zoomed way out.
We're on a lot of different places. Most people, if they have, Apple phone or something like that, they'll listen to us on Apple Podcasts. It's still our number one platform that we get heard on. And second to that, in general, is Spotify. But we're on so many other platforms, and you can sample these. I don't know if it's okay to say this, but you can sample these. Most of them they're free, and you don't even have to sign up. What you can do if you want to play around on the platforms and see how each one works, because they're all a little bit different than the other one, you can just Google How We Heard It podcast, and a bunch of them will come up. Yeah. And if you keep scrolling, more will come up and more will come up. We're where our audience is getting more and more diverse as to where they're hearing us. In addition to Apple and Spotify, of course, you can hear us for free on Podbean, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, Player FM, Podchaser, Bloomplay, Pocket Cast, Castbox. And there's a bunch more, and I found where I can get us on some even more. I don't even know where all these are based. Some of them are based in other countries.
Yeah.
There's different systems for how they're done and how they operate. And I've found, Japanese versions and German versions and Vietnamese versions. I found them once of the ones that I'm familiar with. So we're all over the place, and you can go. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to pay anything. Just find the one that suits you, and you'll probably find about everybody on there,
Well, I think if it's anything like music distribution these days, streaming distribution, I basically just pay a service and upload my music to that service, and then they farm it out.
That's exactly how it works
all over the world,
podcast.
and I'll get emails on a random basis saying, your album is now up on Tubi or something somewhere, and I'm like, I don't even know where that is, or I've never heard of it.
Right. I found just over the weekend, looking up stats and everything for this, I found 5 or 6 that I'd never heard of, and it said it was telling me how to get on those, and it's real easy. And we are going to try to get on YouTube. I used to worry that it'd have to be like an hour and a half video, and there's no way anyone wants to sit and look at us for an hour and a half.
And maybe me, but
well, maybe you, but not Wayne and I. But also, it's just more complicated. The editing of video is more complicated. But I realize that more and more there are podcasts that are simply audio. So if you just go to YouTube to listen to podcasts and not watch them, which apparently a lot of people do, then you should be able to hear us there when I can figure that out. Shouldn't take too long.
Well, with YouTube, I think it's, if I stream something, that's probably where I'm going, because I don't like most of the streaming services. I just have a problem with them. But YouTube, I can put on, and it'll just go to the next thing. And there's a lot of times I'll listen to something I'm not paying attention to the video. I'm just listening to the audio.
Right. And that's definitely happens on YouTube. I thought at first it was like, I don't know if we have the technology and time to do video, and it turns out a lot of people don't, and they just put it out there, and it's like, okay, well, if people are just on YouTube anyway, and they want to hear
it. You just upload a photograph or something.
You can upload a photograph or nothing at all now. They even made it to where
it's just audio only.
Yeah, it's audio, and then there'll be like some line or something they feed on into it. I don't know. I don't know all the details of it, but like you were saying, Wayne, it's like there are a lot of options out there, so you don't have to just take what you think you have to use. There's so many ways to get it anything, really.
Yeah, with YouTube, sometimes I'm always so happy when it says full album.
Oh, yeah.
And I click on full album and listen to the full album.
Yeah.
I used to do that when we worked at the paper all the time. It's like I would be, I want to listen to this album.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. That's how I've found some things that I haven't found on. I assumed everything would be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or not Apple Podcasts. What's the other streamer? Anyway, and they aren't. There's all kinds of stuff out there that I thought would be somewhere, and they're not. And I've been able to find a lot of them on YouTube.
It's interesting with Spotify, and I don't know if Pandora's still a thing or what, but there were friends of mine who would like submit their albums, and they would accept this album but not that album.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing about the podcast is like we've had some issues. Like there was one of the platforms that took down an episode and just sent me a note saying, this was taken down, and I couldn't understand why. They did offer some kind of explanation. They said, if you want to appeal it. So I wrote an appeal and said, you're misreading the situation, blah, blah, and they put it back up. So it was
that's
great.
Good. So it's a human.
For a little, but for a little bit there, we weren't on one of the platforms because of a glitch. Huh. And some of them, they will label some explicit or whatever.
It's your foul mouth.
Your foul mouth. My foul terrible. Mouth. Yes, I can't stop. But if we're explicit on one platform, we're probably on another one. And sometimes if you're on a platform with an explicit rating, you might have to sign in a certain way or something like that, and
prove you're old enough to handle it.
Yeah, and some, and sometimes these American platforms or whatever, they're like instrumental in getting other countries, like smaller countries and non-Western countries, on platforms. But if they mark something explicit on you, you're not going to reach that audience. But that audience can go somewhere else and find you. Except China. I don't think China can get to us at all ever from any direction.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say words like or another word like or any other word that would be bleeped. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you get the Anyway, so we're trying to play along and be as available as we can without sacrificing everything. It
reminds me of the great Monty Python skit. I bet you can't say this on the radio. The whole thing is nearly all
just beeps
and blurps.
Our growth has been really phenomenal. From just 1 year ago, we're getting roughly 6 times the audience that we were getting a year ago. Yeah,
wow. And
we still haven't done any promotions or anything like that. We probably should. We still aren't. We still don't. At this point, we still don't have commercials. There's no reason for us not to put ads on because everybody else does it. So But 6 times the audience. And it's been interesting because of the past, 14 or 15 months, we only had a drop in audience month over month one time, and that was from November to December of 2025. There are a few different things going on, plus it was a December audience, so that might have been. But then it went right back up in January, and then it's been climbing nonstop for every other month. So that's really cool. And the cool thing about it is at this point, this is episode 104. So we have all these past episodes.
Right.
And whereas I used to just think, well, you put a new one up and people listen to it and then they walk away to the next one. Well, what people are doing, and I can see it sometimes in the stats, you can see, like I may look at my stats and see there have been 3 listens in Belgium or something like that. And then 30 minutes later, it's 4 listens in Belgium. And then I'll go back an hour later and there are 5 listens in Belgium. It's like one person listening to multiple episodes probably, And then sometimes you'll see clusters come up and it's apparently you've been shared somewhere. So we had a really big growing Vietnamese audience for a while there. You all remember that. And it's every day. They were even beating the American audience. And it's somehow something we've done or said resonated with a group of people in Vietnam. But then when we started getting the explicits, it's like Vietnam just fell off the map. So I think, something about the censorship procedure got us cut off from there. But, try us again. We're not explicit all the time. I'm not sure that we're explicit ever. I mean, seriously, I think it's like...
Every once in a while, there'll be a song title that's got a racy word in it, or one of us will accidentally say the S word or something, but it's not... We're not profane people.
It's almost like PG-13 language can get us marked. Yeah. So
I don't think we've ever dropped an F-bomb.
No. Well, I hope not. Don't even say that. So. But anyway, it's fun. We're reaching an audience, and people are finding older episodes, which is fun. And you can see that when you call open a podcast. Normally, it just gives you the most recent episode, or it'll give you the bio. That's another thing. Is like when they come up in different ways depending on your platform. But then if you click more episodes, you can see everything that we've yammered about, for 2 years. So that's awesome.
I'm wondering, I just don't have any memory of it, but I was just scrolling through our episodes trying to get ready for this.
Right.
And, at first the descriptions say, Chuck and Wayne talk about this, and Chuck and Wayne talk about this.
Right.
Then 4 or 5, I don't remember how many episodes in, all of a sudden John Baker, the engineer friend, is here. And I don't remember how many episodes I went without being part of it. I mean, I was part of it, but... Right.
Yeah, it was...
But I don't think it was that many.
It was in the first year.
It was. I mean, I think it was maybe 6 months in that we said, "Why don't you get a microphone?"
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that I do have a microphone, because if I was just sitting here being a button monkey, I would be really tired of this.
Yeah, well, it was funny because early on, of course, you have a lot of musical knowledge and everything, and you would be commenting on things, but it would be only we could hear you.
Yeah.
And then I think that was how it started. And then you had a mic so you could join in. And then it's like, well, you can just join us, know the topic ahead of time, and just share your input from the get go, and not just wait to respond to us or whatever.
And I think you were surprised at how long it was before we had a topic.
Sometimes we never seem to have a topic.
Yeah, sometimes they get sprung on me at the last second.
Well, but it's because it sprung on us at the last second, because we decided the night before.
Well, but then that lends to the trust in our ability to, just come up with a subject and start talking.
Yeah.
And somehow make it remotely interesting anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think it makes it interesting. I mean, I haven't done as much, I think, as the two of you sometimes on listening to each other's recommendations, but it's been nice for me to hear recommendations and occasionally check them out and go, oh, okay, yeah.
I got you on board with Olivia Rodrigo.
I know. I ordered an Olivia Rodrigo album, and I listened to it, and I like it, and I'll check out her next stuff that comes out. And the cool thing about that is it makes me more interested in hearing new music, because, yes, I can relate to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I recommended her, because I thought, and it's partly knowing you. It's like, okay, I know you don't want to hear Tate McRae. I know you don't. I know you don't want to hear some of these.
Sabrina Carpenter.
I think you want. Yeah, I know how you feel about her, but with just Olivia Rodrigo, it's like, I know Wayne would like this. I know Wayne would appreciate her depth of knowledge and interest. So
yeah.
And I think that kind of brings me to the point I was going to touch on, is that we've developed little things that go with every show, like recommendations.
Yeah.
And you start the show every time with saying hello in whatever language, the latest new country.
I don't know how long I can keep that up. And
well, there's only so many countries.
I know, and a lot of them speak the same languages, like all the Spanish-speaking countries or English-speaking countries or Arabic
Now you're
going to
have to bring it down to dialects, Chuck.
Oh, my God. I tried some of that, and it's like, this is like, And I never say hi to states, any individual states, because it would just be hi.
But there's
it could be howdy.
There's no finesse to that. Yeah,
I think there's 10 different dialects in Spain. So
yeah, well, I don't know about that, but
there's 1 million of them in England.
Yeah. I've tried to do, I think, Welsh and Irish. So I've kind of exhausted that island. But one thing I want to say before I forget is we're showing up better on search engines, and part of it's because we've been doing this now for a couple of years, but still feels like we just started. But a lot of podcasts don't even make it this long.
It's a very old story that somebody says, I started a podcast, and they do 2 episodes and run out of steam.
Sometimes great podcasts. Sometimes it's like, I've seen some that they literally did stop after 2 or 3 episodes. and it's like something they were going to talk about. Their first episode is we're going to talk about this and this and this and this and blah, blah, and then like, oh, that was too hard. And they don't come back. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, and even AI, we're showing up more in AI just like for research information. And some of it is accurate. It seems like AI's, I got a lot of issues with AI, and a lot of it's just completely wrong. I was talking about it last week, I think, when they were talking. One of the AIs sent me down this path talking about how John Lennon really liked Julian Lennon's first album, even though he died 4 years before it came out. So that was, but some of it is. I was finding stuff. I was surprised. I found an album that I'm going to recommend today, and I thought and it was because about a month ago we did a deep dive where we just go through our record collections, and I saw this CD. I thought, I know. And as soon as I saw it, I felt all happy because I saw the cover. But it's like, I don't remember anything about this. I know this is something I liked, though. And I found some AI on what I said about it and how, and like almost like contextualizing, like, because I do more of a balanced reviews, blah, 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 and things that I pointed out negative about it. And then how you can how you can read more and how it's in the Knoxville News Sentinel archives, but you can also get a library card, and it's like, it was kind of scary because it was like, wow, seeing someone else remember something better than I did. Right. But double check everything you see on AI. I mean, it's just, kidding.
Well, Chuck, you'll be really happy. I just came back from, I went to the Book Eddy today, one of my favorite bookstores, and I bought $20 worth of vinyl, and it's all music from the 20s and 30s. So.
1920s.
1920s and 30s.
I do that. I have to do this every time you say the 20s. I'm like, we're in the 20s, so you got to say 1920s now.
Old blind one-legged Willie.
I didn't get any blues. I got mostly jazz, but great stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure. Are they 78s or something? Or?
No, it's vinyl albums. No, 78s were not on vinyl. 78s were on Bakelite or
okay,
early plastic.
Yeah, but no, it's like the Ted Lewis Orchestra and Helen Kane. That's the person that was Betty Boop did the Betty Boop voice. And,
okay.
Yeah, Darius Milhaud, a classical composer that taught Dave Brubeck and Burt Bacharach. So yeah. Okay. You'd appreciate my collection. I had put my windows down in the car so they hopefully won't warp.
I appreciate most of it, but I don't want to hear it. I mean, I appreciate your need to know this knowledge and you finding out this knowledge. And now I know who did the voice of Betty Boop. So if I can't remember it, you can tell me.
Yeah. Wayne is your fact-checking.
But I don't want to hear her do albums. I mean,
she wasn't the only. May Costell's the other one. But
okay.
Just so you know.
All right, there's two of them. Okay.
I'm glad to know there's someone in this world that does have all this knowledge.
Right. I'm glad my buddy Wayne can help me out so many times with.
Yes. Anytime you want to know about music from the 1920s or 30s.
1920s, you said it. Thank you.
Okay.
You can still say 30s, but not for long.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Last time I did the top 10 episodes as far as listenership went. And now it's like because of the gaining momentum in our listenership, it's pretty much all the most recent ones we do are going to be the top ones, even though the older ones are still, they're getting some, pickup.
Still percolating.
They all can pop up now and then. So it's I was looking at them and like 8 of the top 10 have probably all been since January of this year. And I almost hesitate to do it because it's going to be a few weeks before this comes out, and probably by then we'll have 3 new ones that will be up there. But it's like Terrible Love Songs. That's currently our top episode. That's something we did at Valentine's Day. Because we did great love songs the year before, so it's like, well, let's do terrible ones because people like to hear negative stuff. They like to hear us be snarky. We can't be snarky every week because then you'll get sick of it, So we praise and salute and pay tribute to a lot of things, and then we'll just come out and say, "Oh my God!"
And I think you're surprised at how snarky I can be.
I am. You are actually can get way meaner than I even get. And it's like, I always think of myself as like going overboard, and maybe I shouldn't have said that. And I'll listen to you.
You're never really mean. John's never mean. John's just,
Well, I just try and see the good in people, things.
Yeah. Yeah. Also in our top 10, the world without music.
Right.
That was our number 2 at this moment.
Was it really?
What would the world be like without music? And that was kind of an odd. I wasn't sure how that one would go.
Yeah, me neither.
And what would we even talk about? And I don't know if I remember everything we talked about, but we came up with a full, pretty cool episode.
Well, it was kind of. I mean, I think that people like questions where they have to ask themselves what they think about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one for sure that if you say that, you have to stop and ask yourself what you think it would be like.
Yeah. I think that helps. I think that's something that we deliberately try to do is like talk about things where people are engaged.
Right.
I don't think we ever just want to sit down and talk at people, and just tell them this
Well,
and
maybe
that.
you don't.
I don't. Yeah, you got a little bit of that in you maybe, but I'm always going to interrupt it with something stupid and inane.
Oh, you're always going to
Something that people also don't want to hear, but just for a different reason. But our third is why we hate these top movies.
More hate.
So our biggest we do a movie episode about every 10 episodes or 8 or 10 episodes because we all like movies. But that's our.
I acknowledge you guys have way more expertise when it comes to movies than
Right.
I do. But I've learned a whole lot, and I've been able to audition a lot of movies that passed by and I never even saw them. And thank you to both of you for recommending them.
Well, thank you for bringing more TV stuff too,
Yeah,
because
you bring
I
a lot of
don't pay attention. I watch like 4 or 5 shows, and I just watch reruns. And you
Quality
watch
of
shows.
TV, but I mean, a lot of it's crap, but I mean, because there's
Always has been.
7 million channels, and
Yeah.
they got to fill it up with something. But there have been some really, really good television series that I think compete with movies, and in fact can beat movies because they can carry a story longer.
Yeah, of course I've mentioned Breaking Bad many, many times, but Breaking Bad beat many, many movies as far as like being something.
Same for me with Better Call Saul. I
Oh,
think some
same
of that
thing.
was just some of the best television I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Same for Fargo, the television series.
Fargo's
Man,
great.
that television series, that's some jaw-dropping television.
And this kind of started with The Sopranos being, okay, this is as good as going out and seeing a great gangster movie.
Right.
But
I watched Game of Thrones. Didn't like most episodes, but when they had a good one, they had a good one. And it
Yeah.
was great.
that's one I still got to catch up with.
I
just don't
ran, I
like
ran
dragons.
aground on it. I just it's a bunch of bearded people doing horrible things, and I don't know
There were
who's
a lot
who.
of unbearded women on the show, at least. Every man may have had a beard, but the women, most of them didn't. Other top ones we had the best hooks in music history. Remember when we did that?
That's a popular one.
Yeah, that's been our 4th biggest and our 5th. What music would you listen to on a desert island? And I think we paused. That's something we probably would have done right off the bat if we'd thought about it. But it's like kind of everybody talks about that. But people, again, we're trying to gauge people. What album would you take on a desert island? It's not just what we would do. And
I always want to know everybody's desert island discs.
Yeah.
I mean, I could walk up to a stranger on the street and be entertained by what they're telling me if they have, even if they have bad taste. I always want to know.
Well, and we all 3 came up with different reasons. Like John, you picked like 10 of your favorite albums, And then Wayne and I got weirder. Wayne was like, what album would he not stand not being able to hear again?
Yeah.
I still don't understand. But it's just like if you could never hear this album again, you couldn't. You would have to have that album.
Mm-hmm.
And me, I was looking from a practical. It's like, what kind of music would I need to motivate me if I lived on a desert island?
I need some to help me sleep. I need some to get me
exactly.
hyped
I need
up.
some to get my energy up. I need
something to dance to.
vent.
This is so much your personality. This is the way you are. I've known you for so long, and this is exactly the Chuck I know.
Trying to be practical.
Very
It's
practical.
like, all right, it's
You like categories.
Yeah, I like categories. I like breaking things down. I like compartmentalizing, and then I just come completely unglued. And that's why. I have to mention number 6, though, because that's Gibberish in Lyrics, which was from 2024.
I remember thinking, this is a crazy topic.
Yeah,
and then we
too.
started getting into it, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of songs. That,
You, neither one of you was really grasping what I was trying to say, because it wasn't the same. Because we also misheard Lyrics is also in our top 10, which also was an older one. But the Gibberish was just when people are just either doing numbers or spelling for no reason at all in the middle of a song, or they are using like some
Papa
fake
Umau Mau.
language, or yeah. and people still listen to that. That's an oldie, but it keeps popping up, so that's cool. See, songs about moms, that was for Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. We don't have the numbers for Father's Day songs yet. That's something we just did, so I can't address that. This is another old one from 2024. Kind of surprised me is how MTV and YouTube changed culture.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I basically just went through all of our episodes and just kind of flipped through them and read some of the capsules and thought, oh yeah, I remember that one, and that one I think was important. And
we went somewhere with that, It was like
MTV in particular had a profound influence on how we consume music.
Right, and you could see the cause and effect, before MTV, what music was like, and then what happened with MTV, and then MTV started dying, and then videos went gone, for years basically, and suddenly YouTube's back up, and now they're back, and just how music changed and who was popular changed and how success was measured and the power of commercial radio and record labels and how that was eroded.
And the power of the visual look of the artist.
Yeah. And consumer access and how...
good-looking artists just sell better.
Good-looking artists or funny ones or talented ones. It's like... It was no longer just go out, stand on stage and play your guitar or sing. It's like you had to give more. Everything's about more. And so that's still a popular one. And also, two of them, this was kind of a two-parter, but it was like, why don't young people want to hear older music, and why don't people keep listening to music as they get older? Those were two different shows, and they're kind of neck and neck on the numbers, which is funny.
Well, I bet people listen to one and then go back and listen to the other because they're connected.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They are. Because some of the reasons are the same, and sometimes, there are several different reasons for both of those phenomena. And sometimes it's just, different reasons. Yeah. But those were like, as far as the bottom ones, they're all from like the first year, and I think it's just a matter of time. And this was back when we weren't being listened to as much, so they have catching up to do. So I don't think there's anything specific about those subjects.
Well, I also think we got, like John was saying earlier, we're more comfortable now.
Yeah.
So I think those first few episodes we did were probably a little bit more like stagey feeling and uncomfortable and just kind of we're going through our lists.
Yeah, I used to have kind of a minor anxiety before every episode. Yeah. Now you're a radio guy, so Wayne's used to sitting around talking to Mike about stuff, about anything to anybody.
Yeah,
and I've seen you talk to anybody about anything.
That is one thing I can do.
Yes, we've been to too many lunches together back in the day, and there'd always be someone stop by, and all of a sudden you're like speaking a foreign language because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, what was funny is, I said the thing about bringing the snakes over.
Yeah, he was just talking about snakes.
Yeah, the person that brought him over, she and her husband, I've been friends with her for years, but we'd never actually met. So it's like, come on in, and we sat around, drank Dr. Pepper, and talked about snakes and bugs and all sorts of stuff, and had a great time.
And Wayne likes Dr. Pepper.
Yes, I do.
And every now and then you want a zero bar, right?
Oh no, it's
what was
Zagnut. Zagnuts every once in a while.
Can you still find Zagnuts?
They're hard to find, but Zagnuts are like a.
Is it toffee?
It's like burnt coconut.
Yeah, it's burnt
on
coconut.
Something that pulls your fillings out.
On peanut butter, not nougat. It's the hard stuff, like I can't think of the other
Payday?
bar. I like Payday too.
I love Payday.
That's a different one.
That's good fuel for exercise.
Yeah.
I'm old-fashioned. Give me a Snickers or a Reese's cup. That's,
Snickers is all. I like Snickers, but I like the little ones because it's almost too much.
You like those bitter, hard to eat candies.
They're not bitter and hard
that
to
offer
eat.
little reward.
Zagnut's great.
You don't think you deserve the best? Give me a Zagnut. You don't like the Zeros?
I can't remember what Zeros.
Those are the white
like.
ones, like white chocolate.
Yeah, I don't like white chocolate.
Me neither.
Okay. It's not chocolate.
No, it's just some word. White chocolate. It's just like a term.
It's like military intelligence.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, all you military people. I'm just joking. Jumbo shrimp.
Bullwinkle used that joke. Isn't that a contradiction in terms? Yeah, anyway.
That's an old joke.
It is an old joke.
Nothing up my sleeve. So you want to know where people are listening to us from?
Yeah.
Okay. So we used to be so completely ingrained in Tennessee. Of course, we're in East Tennessee, so we've got family and friends here. Nashville's in Tennessee, and that's a big music
we're not
city.
Nashville.
We're not Nashville.
Not Nashville.
And John used to live in Memphis, and Memphis comes up periodically, and it's a music city in its own right. So
it's a weird music city.
Yeah, so we talk about Nashville and Memphis periodically, and of course, Knoxville. So not surprising. And we're not losing Tennessee listeners, but with the other numbers going up, they're all going up in other states, and they're going up in other countries. So Tennessee's share of it keeps dropping. So we were probably like 95% Tennessee to start with, and now overall we're probably at about 70%, but a lot of days, I'm sure less than half, probably, I think it was like 20% there for a long time that we've been kind of averaging. So we're trying to adapt to that. We know that when we talk about Knoxville artists or something in Tennessee, we need to say Knoxville artist or, theater in Tennessee, remind people that we're in Tennessee or give it context there, because most of our audience is no longer, maybe never even been to Knoxville and wouldn't be able to find it on a map. So, we're taking account of that, but we're not losing our Knoxville listeners. There are just so many other people in the world that are catching it. So that's a good thing. Number 2, state-wise, is California. It's always been California. It is the biggest state in the nation, so that would figure. Yeah. Plus, California is an entertainment state, and I talk about California a lot. So, so people find their way from California. An interesting thing, we've got a lot of the big states. None of the states are really surprising in the top 10, but the 3-state, Tennessee borders 8 states, but the 3 states that border East Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia, those are 3 of our biggest 10 states, and those are always up there, all 3 of those. I did look up Kentucky, and we don't have much listenership in Kentucky, and I did the math for this. This is so nerdy.
We were talking about nerdy.
Yeah, well, I can nerd out on geography, okay?
Yeah, you can.
But Kentucky, this part of Kentucky, southeast Kentucky, is not very populated. So the parts of Kentucky where most people live is like more northern Kentucky, like Louisville and Lexington. So they don't feel the attachment to East Tennessee that North Carolina and Virginia and Georgia, North Georgia do. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. And the remaining states are just what you would expect. It's New York, Florida, Texas, Ohio, and Illinois. So big old states with a lot of people. So that's our statewide. And those 10 are probably, probably 90% at least of our audience together.
When I was reading through the little bubble blurbs about the episodes, there was one where you said something about is anyone in Wyoming?
Well, they are. We've gotten a couple of the Wyoming listeners.
Okay.
So, yeah, they did show up.
At that point, we didn't have any in Wyoming.
No, we didn't have any from Wyoming, but they did come around, I think, almost every state, except we still don't have one of those Dakotas. We still don't. It's South Dakota, which is the bigger one, but we still don't have South Dakota, which is weird because you'll see a map and there's just a white hole where South Dakota is. Is it real? I mean, I know the Mount Rushmore is there, so I'm sure people are in South Dakota. But anyway, not to bang on them. They'll find us eventually. Internationally, this is fun. USA, of course, is the top. And it used to be like 90% of our audience would be USA, and now it's down under 80% and dropping because of, and this is a composite number, so includes all the time back when it was almost all the United States. So we're gaining in other countries. I talked about Vietnam. Their numbers actually got them into our top 10. They've been sliding, though, since a few weeks ago when we started losing some because of whoever their provider was censoring us. But right now, the number 2 country is Germany, which is interesting because we have all the English-speaking countries. UK is 3rd. We got Canada, I think, is 4th. South Africa, Australia, all those are in the top 10. New Zealand probably does really well, but it's not very populated, so that's probably why it's not in there. India had been our number 2 country, and it's slid down to about number 6. So it's whatever.
I'm just
who
blown
knows?
away by the people in other countries are listening to 3 East Tennessee people talking about music and movies.
And I don't think it's because we're being listened to less in India, but probably just these other countries are gaining ground on them. The others are kind of all across the map. Literally, that would be the non-English speaking ones: Brazil, Spain, Mexico, Italy, France, Argentina, Finland. Finland and Denmark are interesting because those are Scandinavian countries,
Right.
but they're pretty small. Russia, which was like one of the big ones back then, it's down to about 17 now. So whatever mystery brought Russia and India came first, and then they've both been sliding down some. Morocco is pretty cool to see them up there, Hong Kong and Singapore. Again, we're not heard in China at all. We've never been listened to in China, and I think you have to be a special kind of podcast to be heard if you're American or whatever in China, and I don't know how that works. But like,
Do we get any kind of information on how these people are finding us?
I can search to a degree, but only to a certain degree. Like I was saying with the Belgium, and like binge watching or whatever, I can figure that out. And some of the countries have maps, so like UK shows up, and it's almost always England, but every now and then it'll be Ireland or Wales, like a different part of the UK lights up. Same thing with Australia. It's divided up by state, so it might mainly be Sydney or Melbourne, but then you'll get someone from Perth or Brisbane or some other state. Let's see, Sweden is broken up that way. Germany is broken up that way. France is broken up that way. So, and France is in the top 10 or 20 too. And we've been heard by 101 countries. I counted, and then I counted again because that's such a weird number. Mm-hmm. But I wish it was 104. But but we've been heard in 101 countries plus one unknown country, which could be 102 or it could just be one of the 101.
One unknown country.
One
How do you have
unknown. I just scrolled through, and then at the bottom there's unknown one.
Well, the podcast,
maybe that's China sneaking in.
The episode that we did on foreign language music that we like.
Yeah.
Could you see any bumps on that?
I think that may have helped us in like Asia and Africa, but that's maybe changed now with the explicits or whatever.
Right.
But it wasn't quite as big as I expected, but that was in our early days when we were mostly listened to in Tennessee, and we were having kind of the same numbers every week,
right,
with just, 2 or 3 more this week and then 2 or 3 more that week. So we were growing slow. So I don't know how it would do now. I have seen times when, like I talked about Berlin, I told a whole story about Berlin and coming across somebody and a homeless guy, an unhoused guy with his dog, and all of a sudden, Berlin showed up, and then the Brandenburg state around it, plus Berlin is highlighted as its own place. And normally, most Germany had been like all the cities in the west, the Frankfurts and the Hamburgs and the Kölns and all those, and some Munich, but then suddenly Berlin kind of came to life. I don't know if we are tagged too by all these different podcast platforms, and some of them are real generous with those tags, which means
so the platforms do the tags.
Yeah, they're scraping it and doing the tags. I'll do like little tags for social, but so some of them, if we talk about 50 acts, they'll have 50 acts, or at least like 20 or 30, and some of them they just take if it's the Beatles and Taylor Swift, then maybe that's all. So,
well, with all the times I've talked about Calypso, does Trinidad show up?
All the times. Trinidad's been in there. I know they have. Yeah, I don't know how many.
Okay, well, that's interesting. But I mean, that's just one of those things. It's so odd. There's not many people who talk about that.
Right.
But that's where it comes from.
Right. Well, I still don't understand Norfolk Island, which is an island of 2,000 people. That's like 800 miles from the coast of Australia, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, there's some like little bitty countries that show up once or twice. I don't know if those are travelers or what happened. So, anyway, it's been interesting. It's been fun. I like seeing the numbers grow. I like seeing people anywhere listen to us, however they listen to us. I hope we're giving them what they want. We're on social media. I talk about this periodically. I don't explain that, but we're on TikTok, Facebook, Reels, X, and Instagram. I think that's most of it. We were on Threads, and it was just like too much to follow, and Threads wasn't really getting us anywhere. I almost gave up on TikTok, but now it seems to be our most consistent listening area, which... Like I was on the verge, like, wow, we've only 3 people watch this video. What am I even putting it on there for? Now it's 500 people or something like that. So that's cool. But on YouTube, so the snippets I'm talking about, if you haven't found them, I'll do like a little pictures and audio, like a minute or two segment of each show. When they go up, I'll put one up, and you can just hear part of what we were talking about. And I tell people, go listen to the whole show somewhere. And it really depends on who we're talking about as to where we get the most traction. Sometimes it's YouTube, sometimes it's Facebook or Reels, and sometimes it's X, and it just varies. But TikTok has suddenly become like consistently pretty big. And Instagram, we've got a few followers on Instagram, but Instagram's probably the new target for me to drop because it just, you can't put links in there, and you have to follow. No one, we don't have that many people following us, and it's like, why am I? And it's shaped differently, so you have to do special adjustments to it if you're going to try. And it's like, I don't know if this is really worth it, and I don't know how many other podcasts are on Instagram. I mean, I'll keep doing it as long as I don't have to do. But I don't want to spend like another hour to get it on Instagram for 10 people to see. It's like I got time. I got to walk the dog or something. But let's see the flaws. Yeah. So I have to listen to this stuff all over again. One of the things that we're doing that we're trying to flag each other on is we'll be repeating stuff that we've said before, and I know I did that a lot early on. But we'll just talk about something, and then 2 weeks later we're talking about it again, and we engage. And I think we try to when we feel like we've said it before, we might say, "Have I talked about that before?" And the others say, "Yeah," so we know. So hanging with us. I know not everybody's listening and hanging on every single word, so it doesn't hurt if we do repeat a story. But maybe when we get on it the 5th or 6th time, maybe we could let it go.
I know I've recommended some things like 3 times and not meant to.
I've done the same. Yeah.
For me, and I don't know about you guys, I assume I'm the worst at this, but I don't know because I don't know about a lot of what you're talking about. The most embarrassing thing to me is just when I make mistakes, and I'll just the pinnacle of that for me was when I was talking about Madonna's album Exotica and how great Exotica was, and it was the best album she'd ever done, and it was erotica, and I knew it was erotica the whole time, and so I just blathered on and on and on about her.
That's forgivable.
I hope so. And I heard one a couple of weeks ago. There was a band, and I was like, I know all these bands that people haven't heard of, so I can offer those up. And I'd mentioned them once before. It's a band called 12 Rounds, and I mentioned them over a year ago. For some reason, I was talking about what a great sound they have, and they have a really unconventional singer, and they're just odd, kind of eerie music. I think it's when we were doing scary songs. And then I had a reason to bring them up again, and I called them 21 Rounds. And then I called them 21 Rounds again, and then I called them 21 Rounds a third time. I thought, why didn't that feel right? I was just looking at my notes and had a dyslexia, kind of flipped the 12, and I thought, oh my God. So when I'm sitting here bragging about something no one's ever heard of before, and then I get the name wrong.
Well, it's probably because isn't 21 Pilots the name of the
maybe
the band that's 21 Pilots?
You're being nice.
No. It's funny.
I was looking at it on my notes,
Last week I was talking to John about an XTC song, which
we all get them.
I know, but it was but the reason I did it is I just seen it. The song is "Hold Me, Daddy."
Hold me, my daddy.
Hold me, my daddy. And I said, "Catch me, daddy," and it's because there's a Janis Joplin song called "Catch Me, Daddy." So I'm always doing
there's a Kink song, "Catch Me Now, I'm Falling."
Yeah. So there's all these things that, because we get this stuff swimming around, we say the wrong things sometimes.
Yeah. I've definitely, you've had to correct me a couple of times.
Yeah, and
See, well, I don't know when y'all are making mistakes.
Well, see, that's a great thing.
Unless you correct each other.
I can screw up all sorts of stuff, and you don't
could.
have no idea.
You start talking about, in the 1907, or so, and it's like, I don't know. And John and I'll look at each other sometimes when you're talking, like, do you know that? Or no?
Oh, yeah, you'll be looking,
rolling I don't know
eyes at each other.
Well,
It's all in fun.
It gives us a break. We have a chance to, chew some gum or something. But, so that's the mistake. Sometimes we get off track. And last anniversary, we were talking about how there was one time where it took us 15 minutes to get to the topic. And this time there was something that was 21 minutes. Since then, we went 21 minutes before we even got to the topic.
What episode was that?
Oh, I don't know.
There was one we spent a lot of time talking about our first jobs.
Maybe it was that. It was that. Well, I think that was, Anyway, we still do that. We still get off track, and I think as long as it's engaging, who cares? As long as we don't get into this like. We never get into this. Well, I know this. We never like try to one up each other with what we know. I mean, that's just not who any of us are.
Well, to me, it's like it's a conversation. It's just like when I would try to do interviews, and I used to get compliments from people when I would interview them that it feels like a conversation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'd never like had a list of okay, here's this question, this question, this question, this question, answer. It's you've got to engage, and I think people relate to that.
Right.
And it's more like if I hear people talking, I would rather hear them talk like a conversation rather than an interrogation.
Right.
Unless they're a politician.
I try to like if it's you two guys talking or whatever. I'm like, oh no, I've got to get through all these notes, but then I'll listen to what you're saying. It's like, well, if it's still entertaining, then fine. And if it's getting too far astray, we're losing too much time, then I'll just kind of jump in. All right, let's move on. So, but we're trying to stay up there, and also energy. This is an interesting thing because they always tell you, you want to be energetic and everything. But I listen to some podcasts where they're so over the top, I can't listen because they just get loud and they're cackling and everything. And,
well, again, it's not like real conversation.
Right. But we can slow down sometimes, and a lot of times we don't have any sense. Like we'll finish an episode, we'll be like, "That went great," and I'll listen. It's like, "Oh, it was okay," or sometimes it's like we weren't sure how it went. It was great. You don't know until you listen to it after the fact how much. But I like to have energy, but I don't want to be forced or crazy or stupid about it. But we don't want to ever make you feel like you're in a lecture hall or anything like that. And I think we're doing a good job with that. Yeah. So our strengths, we've got a lot of strengths. We're all very much aware now of each other's strengths and weaknesses, so we know how to talk to each other and what to talk to each other about, and when we're probably going to be going it on because alone because the other two don't know what we're talking about. And I think that's helped us good with our conversations and how we mesh together.
And I think that between the three of us, we have a pretty good breadth of knowledge about music.
Yeah.
And between the two of you about movies,
Well, and like I say, you bring in the TV element that I don't have at all. And
you have TV recommendations that I've never even thought about.
So anyway, and we keep flowing in our shows most of the time to keep switching up the audiences. I'm always thinking that we've got people of all ages out there who have all different reference points. So I'm not assuming everybody's me, So I know that maybe we got some Gen Z people out there. I hope so, and they won't know who these people are. Maybe we got some older people who don't know who the younger people are. And this brings me to one of my favorite episodes that we had, and that was when we talked about 90s music. And I picked that deliberately because that was kind of like when all three of us were young and hitting stride, and we were all deeply involved in music and everything. So we were fully aware. We knew the people before us, and we knew the people that would come after us. And I like when I know we're offering something, a little deeper, even if it's just in fun. And let's see, we got what about you guys? Did you have? I like the albums for Deserted Islands. I thought that was fun. The best and worst selling artist. We did that with movies, where we took the top 10 movies from each decade, and we'd pick our favorite one and our least favorite one. Then we turned around and did it for music.
Yep.
Well, we did it for music first, and I thought John and I were probably going to have a problem because we were doing the 70s. When we got to the 70s, two of the top 10 were ABBA and Bob Marley. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to put Bob Marley as my least favorite because of all of these, I listened to him less than anybody. And then but it was your turn to go before I went. And you said, well, and I thought, I don't want to do that because I know John's a big Bob Marley fan. And I was looking, I thought, well, he's probably going to pick ABBA, though, so whatever. And sure enough, he said, well, Chuck, you were like hesitating, well, Chuck, I hate to say this, but I'm going to have to go with ABBA. It's like, that's okay. I'm picking Bob Marley. And it wasn't even like retaliation or anything. And I think we both agreed that I'm not that well-spoken on Bob Marley, and you're not that well-spoken on ABBA. It wasn't about not liking him. We just had to pick someone in the top 10. Yeah. So, I mean, we can disagree without actually, getting mad or anything like that.
Well, I think we're all used to that.
Yeah, for sure. What about you all? Do you have any favorite ones that?
Yeah. Well, the first one that I really got energized about researching, and for some reason and I approached what I'm laughingly calling research.
Right.
I just you give me a topic, and I really don't spend a lot of time looking things up.
Right.
I just try and go into my brain and think, all right, what am I thinking of? And the one about get your paws off these great songs about animals.
Yeah.
Or get your paws on.
Yeah.
And I just there are so many
I had
artists
no idea there were so many. Yeah.
that have animal names.
Yeah.
And I had the most notes I've ever had for any episode for that one. I had like 2 or 3 pages of notes. And I normally have like one piece of paper with 8 things on it.
Right. So. What about you, Wayne? Were there any that you enjoyed or didn't enjoy?
Well, the one that I didn't think I was going to really enjoy, and you came up with the idea, was the gifts for artists for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And once I started getting into it, I was like, oh yeah.
You got so snarky in that
I did.
one.
It was fun.
It was supposed to be jokes, like, I hope, or even not jokes. Like, I hope Taylor Swift gets some time off, or I hope you were just like
Kanye West developed some humility.
Yeah.
I mean, I was snarky, but it was fun to look at it all differently and to come up with stuff like that, because I thought when you came with that idea, just like, wow, I don't know what I'm going to say about this.
Yeah, I remember you were real reluctant on that. I think you both were at first.
But I think those are the ones the shows where you don't know what you're going to come up with, and suddenly you start thinking, it's like, oh yeah, I can do this. I've got stuff I can offer here, and I was just knocking off, nasty things to say, just one after the other.
Right. I said right. I think I don't remember. We recently did an episode, and it seemed like we were all 3 in different worlds and everything. I thought, I wonder how that's going to sound. And I went home and listened to it. It's like sounded like any other episode.
Yeah.
But we've been doing these deep dives into our collections. Okay, and the first 3 we did, I think, went well. The last one, we were 3 different people talking about 3 totally different themes, and we were round robbing it. We probably want a little more cohesion than that one, because that one was like kind of hard to follow, because we were just like, I know that John, we were also going to be doing 90s
the next week.
I thought I combined
So you
them.
thought it was the 90s stuff. So you were talking about 90s stuff, and Wayne, you were recommending people from the past that you thought maybe didn't get the whatever that they needed. And then I was just literally going through a stack of CDs, like 150 CDs. And it was just like, there was no transition between thoughts. And it was like a little too much.
Every time we've done that, we've kind of come at it from kind of a different perspective.
Yeah.
Because you've always gone you started off going alphabetically through your vine.
Yeah.
And I was just going through what I've got fed into my, ripped into my computer,
right,
and just flipping around on things that I knew we hadn't talked about.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do when we do those.
Well, and I thought one of the most memorable things to me was the very first one we did. You went first, and your album was the exact same album that mine was, and it was not like a big, huge act. It was a band that put out 2 records in the 80s.
Right, and we both loved them, and just hated that they just disappeared.
Yep.
But those 2 albums are great.
The producers, by the way.
The producers.
From Atlanta.
Yeah, right. It's always funny when we say something we think, oh, nobody's going to have this. And, one of you picks up and knows exactly what it is, or, I pick up and I knew what it was.
Well, and there's been some topics that I go, well, I know Wayne's going to pick this one because I know he loves that artist or something, and so I won't put it on there.
Uh-huh. I found so much freedom knowing you 2 would always, have a lot of 60s stuff, 70s stuff, and it's like, I don't even have to look those up, It's like, I would be doing songs about such and such. I don't have to do any research. Y'all going to hit the highlights. I don't need to go back that far. And
another highlight for me in this process is that my wife and I go visit her parents every Sunday, and at some point we introduced her father-in-law, Bob Leggett, who's a former English professor at UT, but he's a huge music fan, and he'll go, what's the topic today? And he loves, he's like, okay, who am I think of? And he'll think, I usually get, 3 or 4 artists or songs or whatever from him. And I've tried to encourage him. I was like, you need to come just be on the podcast. So he's like, no, I can't do that. I don't want to do that.
Well, I do. I want to sometimes start having guests. I mean, we just had Pete Rizzo, my buddy Sneaky Pete, on. It's the only guest we've had.
Need some guests. I think that would help us just, kind of.
Well, my cousin John, who lives in New Jersey, has a podcast with a guy who's a weatherman in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And they do a podcast together. And so I hit him up on how they do, and he said it's either a FaceTime call, and they just take the audio signal from a FaceTime and feed it into the mixer. The problem is now it's like my phone and my iPad both, neither one of them has a headphone jack. So I don't know how to get the sound out.
Oh, yeah.
And into a DAW, the digital audio workstation.
Right. Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I think if we could do that, I mean, you'd said that we could get Lyle Lovett to come on and.
I think Lyle would do it. There's a lot of people I think we could get to do it. Lucinda might do it. There's a lot of different people through the years that
that you've made friends with.
Yeah, that like enjoyed doing interviews.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I've enjoyed what we've done, even without guests, and I look forward. It's kind of one of the highlights of my week to just come here and spend time talking about music.
Me too.
Hanging out with you two guys. Sometimes we'll sit and chat like for an hour or something after the show, or we'll delay starting the show because we're just talking about stuff. And it's nice to have that kind of connection, you know, beyond just being. It's one of the funnest things I've done in my career because it doesn't seem
it's not
like
it's
work.
not big pressure to it. I mean,
and I think people can pick up on the fact that we're friends and we like each other.
Right.
I mean, I think when you listen to a podcast, that's real important. There's not like tension between us. It's
that's why I like you when you listen to Smartless, for example.
Right.
Yeah.
Those four guys just really, you can tell they just love each other.
right.
Yeah.
When
Those are always my favorite podcasts when the people genuinely get along
Yeah.
and not just they're forced together for whatever reason.
Right. And like we've said, Wayne and I have been friends for like 25 years, but I didn't know you until,
No.
I mean, I knew your name and I had
Right.
read your articles in the
Right.
News Sentinel, but until we met, but I feel like I've made a friend.
Sure, absolutely. We have, of course, we want to thank our listeners and finding us from wherever they find us from. And we encourage feedback from them. We've gotten some good feedback, but you can all write us at howweheardit@gmail.com.
Yeah, or find us on Facebook.
John's already looking like, are we signing off? Because we've not done recommendations. No, that's just what I say at the end of the show. But you can write us at howweheardit@gmail.com, and you could just tell us, subject ideas or what you liked or what you wish we'd do more of. You know.
Or find us on Facebook. We're on Facebook, too. You've got a How We Heard It page set up.
Yeah, we're on all the Facebook, X, Twitter, all the other things. YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel, even without the YouTube podcast channel so far. And we do have something else. The company has something else, our little company, and we're hopefully going to launch it soon. I'll tell you more about that later. I'm excited about it. Again, I'm not signing off. I feel like I'm signing off.
Sounds like it.
We should go to recommendations before I keep freaking myself out here. But anyway, I look forward to this every week with you guys. I feel like I've learned a lot more about music. I think that I've rediscovered music. One thing that happened, I could just start with a recommendation now. How's that? One thing that's happened in this time is like going into our deep dives and going back over stuff that I've reviewed in the past. I've complained and whined about this before. I was in this grind of where I was doing 3 album reviews a week, every week, year after year, no breaks for vacation, year after year, decade after decade. I got almost 6,000 reviews in before I stopped doing it. That is so many albums. And I would find something along the way, and I would really like it or I love it, and I would try to listen to it on the side. But when you keep having to put on another album and another album and another album and read the lyrics, then you start finding other ones you like, so you start pushing
get distracted.
aside. So something you really like, 2 months later, you're not listening to it anymore just because of the whole avalanche of new stuff coming in. Plus, I had stuff that I liked before I started doing this. So I have old music I would like to listen to. Yeah. So it's just been too much to process. But when I was going through that last stack of the CDs, I came across the band Amelia, and I recommended that because I looked at it, I saw it, I think I like this, but I don't even know why, and I don't know what they sound like. And that bothered me. And I listened to it. It's like, oh, I really liked it. Well, another one I found was a Viva Voce. That's Viva, Vocae. And I'm giving it kind of an Italian pronunciation. It's Latin for by word of mouth. I'm not sure if it would be pronounced differently in Latin or Spanish, but I'm saying Viva Voce so I can follow the Italian spelling. And the name of the album was The Heat Can Melt Your Brain. And I saw that CD cover, and immediately felt great about it, but couldn't tell you one thing about the band, what songs I liked, who was in the band, where they were from. So anyway, Viva Voce, The Heat Can Melt Your Brain. This album came out in 2004, and it was a psychedelic indie rock duo. It was an Alabama couple, Anita and Kevin Robinson, and they started in Muscle Shoals, and they moved to Nashville, and they moved from Nashville to Portland, Oregon. And they released 6 albums on 5 different indie labels. So it was a different indie label almost every time. And this one that I'm recommending was on Minty Fresh, which that was one of the labels that kept up with me. Mm-hmm. So these other labels, I didn't know what happened to them because I wasn't on these other indie label mailing lists. So it's almost like they popped up on album number 3 for me and disappeared again. I didn't know.
Well, they were a big indie for a while. They were
Minty Fresh. They had they had Liz Phair. They had Veruca Salt. They had the Cardigans. So those are
Minty Fresh was pretty decent sized indie label,
and they had a good publicity department. So that they found this publicity department found me. So anyway, while they were in Portland, like I say, they released The Heat Can Melt Your Brain. That's what caught my ears. Both Kevin and Anita Robinson, they both play and sing guitar. They have a lot of exotic instrumentation, like vibraphone, kazoos, bell piano. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of different things like that, and they create this great vibe. And they both sing, they alternate at leads usually, but they both have these real kind of soothing voices and everything. And I just thought it was psychedelic and trippy. But listening to it again now, after not hearing it all that time, I like it even more. And I liked it so much better. I thought I would have lost this forever. Yeah. I want to, and it's like just because of having to make myself go, see this cover that immediately brought joy, but I didn't know why. And then hearing them again, and this time I heard them on a different level, and it's kind of like the message that they're sending in their music. I thought it was just like they were druggies or whatever, but it wasn't that. And like I've got a few examples here. The song Lesson Number 1, it's got this wobbly guitar, and it's sort of this like little reassuring stroll, and she's got this really sweet vocal, and she's just saying, keep your head up. Things are all right. Keep your head up. Things are all right. And then she has some other lines. But the other lines are kind of darker, and it's about things being on the downside and all that. Well, then a few songs later is a song called High Highs. And this time Kevin sings lead. And it's got this great pulsing rhythm. It's very lulling and hypnotic stuff. And kind of a little freaky, too, because they're not dead, brain dead. But... and Kevin's vocals are, I still wait for those high highs, going to wait for those high highs. But he also there's some down lyrics in what he's singing also. But the chorus is like, keep your head up, high highs. I'm waiting for high highs. Then there's another song called Daylight. And it's woozy, just cute. I love her vocal in this one again. And it's very inviting. She's like, but the lyrics are a little dark. It's like daylight shines away and the colors so bright fade away. And then there's like a little pause, and there's almost like, I think she's even speaking this part. She goes, with a quick show of hands, let's see who understands. So again, it's like there's something more going on to it. And I didn't catch it the first time I listened to it. I was younger and whatever.
What made you dig it out?
Because we were doing our deep dives, and I thought, I'm going to go through this stack right here. And I went through that stack, and it was in the middle of the pack, and I saw that CD cover, and I'm like, I love this, and I don't know why. I've got to listen to it again, and I listened to it again. The best song on here to me, though, is a closing song called They Never Really Wake Up. And it's like this epic, hypnotic closer, and all the lines that they repeat over and over. It's kind of ghostly, the song is, but... the line is just, it's these 3 lines over and over. Each morning when they wake up, they never really wake up. They never really get it right. And it kind of all came together. It's like this whole album is about there are dark times, and we all have dark times, and we have to endure them. Don't live in fear of that, because you're going to naturally try to find bliss, and you just have to try to live in as much positivity as you can, even when things are dark. It was really just kind of a really cool experience to appreciate it even more than the first time I heard it. And this last song, it has a lot of chorus of, I think it's just her. It might be both of them just doing this kind of wordless vocal for a couple of minutes before they get to those lyrics. And anyway, it's like an oral sedative with or without drugs. I don't know if you're smoking pot or if you just want to be calm, if you just want to, and it's not about ignoring the bad. It's not, don't worry, be happy. It's not goofy like that, but it's just kind of this, there's another song. I love this. They call it Free Nude Celebs. Got nothing to do with the song. It's him singing about how he can take anything except, seeing you unhappy, seeing her unhappy. And the interesting thing is they broke up and divorced in 2013. Oh. And I wondered if there was any dish breaking or anything like that when that happened, or if they were like real chill vibe through that too. But anyway, that is Viva Voce 2004. The Heat Can Melt Your Brain.
Cool. John, you got something?
Yeah. I had the wonderful opportunity earlier last week to attend a house concert by a guy named Jason Narducci. And some of you indie rock fans will know who he is. He plays in Bob Mould's band. He also played in Superchunk for a time. He played in the Foo Fighters for a time. But he also is a songwriter in his own right, and he's had several bands of his own. And his first real band that was a success is a band called Verbo, Verbow. And their first album is called Chronicles. It's from 1997. I'd never heard it before. I was just really enjoyed his live show. It was him on an acoustic guitar. This is really heavy, and it sounds a lot like Bob Mould and Superchunk and Foo Fighters. But he's got a really nice high voice and can really get his voice around some emotional content. And it's called Chronicles, 1997, Verbo. Pick it up. It's great.
Cool. Well, I want to recommend from 1973, Procol Harum's album Grand Hotel. And everybody spells Procol Harum wrong.
Right.
It's Procol space Harum.
I do not spell it wrong. I'm an editor.
You've never spelled it.
I know Procol. The Harum I have to look up again because I forget it's spelled weird too.
Right. And they're the band that did the song Whiter Shade of Pale, which was, of course,
beautiful song.
And one of the most recorded songs in history now, and just a complete classic from 1967.
It is.
But in 1973, after they had made an album with a symphony orchestra, the Procol Harum Live with the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra, which had a minor hit with Conquistador, they released this album that is fully orchestrated, and it has the Swingle Singers on it, which the Swingle Singers were like this vocal group that did scat singing in this very beautiful way. And they're all through this album. And it's really, really pretty. It's one of their best ones, and it's Gary Brooker, who died a few years ago now. The vocalist is in perfect form. They just gotten Mick Grabham as their guitar player a couple years ago, who replaced Robin Trower, who's one of the great guitar players from the 60s and 70s and 80s to some extent. But it's very lush, and it's one of those things where you put it on and you just leave it on because it just feels like you've entered a world and you want to stay there for the whole thing. So, Procol Harum.
In 1973, that's right in the middle of my favorite era of rock production.
Well, it sounds great. The orchestra sounds terrific on it. And, I mean, when the guitar cuts through all the orchestra, it's just gorgeous.
All right, I'll look forward to listening to that.
Yeah. So, Grand Hotel.
Both of those.
1973, Procol Harum. I'm going to go ahead with my movie.
Okay.
Story.
Yeah, sure.
Over the weekend, I saw The Sheep Detectives, which is basically kind of, I mean, it's mostly a kid's movie, and it's kind of corny and sentimental and sweet and all those things.
Great reviews. What did you think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Is
it in the theaters now?
It's in the theaters right now. It may not be by the time this comes out, maybe. But my grandson loved it, and it was fun. Hugh Jackman is sort of the catalyst actor in it. And
he's live action, but the sheep are vocalized by actors.
Oh yeah, and the sheep. I gotta look up all the different people who do the sheep. I mean, the sheep are all.
Are they animated?
They're all CGI.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there may be some real moments of sheep put in there, but for the most part, they're CGI. But Brett Goldstein plays twin rams that are always fighting each other, and he does both the voices for both. And it's like, it was so much fun because it's like, wait a minute, I know that voice.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's Brett Goldstein from
Shrinking and
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
And Patrick Stewart does a voice. Regina Hall does Cloud, who is the kind of prissy, most beautiful of the sheep. Bella Ramsey from Last of Us plays one of the voices. Chris O'Dowd and Bryan Cranston plays one. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And it's nothing unexpected. What the plot is, their shepherd, who is Hugh Jackman, is murdered.
Right.
And the sheep, he reads to his sheep.
But it's not like
night.
a really dark movie. that
No.
kids can't see. Right.
No, but there's some pretty heavy
There's
topics addressed in it.
Yeah.
But he only has the sheep for the wool. He doesn't slaughter the sheep. And the sheep love him, and he loves them.
I read somewhere that it was kind of vegetarian coded.
It's very vegetarian coded. It really is. But he reads them mystery stories. Whatever he's reading, he reads them mystery stories every night, and he doesn't think they understand, and they do. So when he's murdered, the smartest of the sheep that he acknowledges from the beginning, this is the smartest of the sheep, who always figures out the mystery stories before they get to the last chapter, she decides they're going to find out who killed him.
Okay.
And there's a little kind of Andy Griffith Mayberry sort of element to it with a kind of the guy that's over the police force, which is one guy,
Right.
Who's not very good at figuring things out.
Oh, he's Barney.
He's a Barney, and the sheep help him figure it out. And it's really sweet and fun.
Sounds sweet.
And yeah, I totally recommend it. If you don't like corny, sentimental stuff, it's done so well. I don't think you're going to mind.
Okay.
I am not going to recommend a movie or a TV show. I'm going to recommend a podcast.
Okay.
I think I may have recommended some of Rachel Maddow Presents.
Right.
Has done one called Bagman, which is about Spiro Agnew.
Mm-hmm.
It is just riveting. And then she did another one that's 2 seasons. It's called Ultra. And the first season of that is about the Nazi infiltration of the U.S. government in the lead up to World War II. And then the second one is about the rise of Joseph McCarthy. But she just released a new one called Rachel Maddow Presents Burn Order. Mm-hmm. And it is about the Japanese internment camps that happened right after Pearl Harbor's attack. And it's so prescient to what we're going through today because racism just the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, and everybody just thought Japanese people were evil, and that even Japanese Americans, native-born American citizens, these people who came up with this were so racist that they thought Japanese people can never be trusted, and we've just got to contain them. And we jailed American citizens with no due process for several years, and this is the story of that whole shameful chapter. And in the end, there was redemption, and it's a fantastic story. So it's called Burn Order. Rachel Maddow Presents Burn Order.
Cool.
Okay. I just a quick shout out to Brett Goldstein's podcast. He has a podcast too. You were mentioning him for the Sheep Detectives and Ted Lasso and all that. And he is like my idol because he doesn't bring too much energy. You know, he's got that very low, steady, calming voice, but he's eminently listenable, you know, and that's what I hope we can do if we're not like hooting and hollering and screaming and everything. But the movie I want to recommend is called...
What is his podcast called?
Oh, I can't remember. Just Brett Goldstein Podcasts. Google. See, that's how we do it now. But the movie I want to recommend is Obsession. It was widely released in theaters in May. And this is a Blumhouse production. And I saw the trailer and thought, oh, okay, so a guy puts a spell on a woman to make her fall in love with him. And it's way more than the trailer. And I'm finding more and more all the trailers are kind of misleading because they oversimplify what you think your movie's going to be. It is a horror film, but it's really inventive. I can't even get into it. It's like a Gen X production. All these people are more or less, they have some TV roles or whatever, but they're all kind of newbies. Curry Baker is the writer-director. He's from Alabama, like Viva Voce. He's only 26. And he was in the sketch comedy duo That's a Bad Idea, if you know who that is.
I don't remember them.
But anyway, he's the director. It stars Michael Johnston, who just turned 30, so I guess he's technically a millennial. and Indy Navarrete, who's 25, and then there's another young pair of people who they all four work together at a record store, and Andy Richter is their boss, so he's the only old person in this movie, really. But anyway, Johnston plays a guy named Bear, which is short for Baron, and he's had a crush on Nikki. That's Navarrete. He's had a crush on her for a long time, and he's having problems telling her that. She kind of suspects, but she's just moving on. So she's leaving her job. So he wants to go buy her something at a mystic shop, and he buys this little novelty thing he finds. It's called the One Wish Willow, and it's just a little box. It's got like old 50s caricatures on the cover, and you make a wish and you break it, and then your wish will come true. So he's going to give it to her, but he ends up breaking it and saying, that he wished that she would love her. He wishes she would love him more than she's ever loved anybody before. And he breaks it, and like instantly there's this transformation in her. But it's like she's on a bad trip or something, and it's kind of like it's bad and it's good and it's terrifying, and she just keeps going through all these changes like it's misfiring. Mm-hmm. So she'll be really sweet, and then she'll be like neurotic, and then she'll be demanding and screaming, and then she'll be self-destructive, and then she'll be like saying, "Kill me, just kill me," and all this. So she's going through all these emotions and everything, just like unpredictable cycle of emotions over and over and over. And I like it because it's kind of like a bad trip, and she's not responding because who knows? I mean, something may work, but like any kind of drug, it may work, but it may have side effects that make it even worse than it was before. Yeah. But anyway, I don't want to bog down too much on it, but it's how he's dealing with her and what can he do and all that. But I said it's like imagine someone making Fatal Attraction with a little bit of a possession movie, and the director is a joint collaboration between David Lynch and Sam Raimi.
Oh, boy. Oh, well, there you go. You sold me right there.
I think you would like it. I really do. It's very surreal. It's very unconventional. I like that it's a new generation. And I will say that in the theater, it was a good crowd, and most of the people were like 20-something. Oh, yeah. And I don't see those people in the theaters as much as I used to. And this was mainly a young crowd turning out for a young group and a new tale. It's not just a woman. And this actress, her name again is Indy Navarrete. She is so good. It would go so wrong if she wasn't good at it. But she is totally convincing, whether she's screaming or neurotic or normal, every single character. And it can be like all four emotions like within a minute. And she is so good at every single one of those that I think that really makes a difference, because otherwise it might seem too gimmicky and weird. Yeah. And the guy is just kind of a doofus. He makes mistakes and keeps making mistakes, and the stakes keep getting higher and weirder. But it's a good movie.
Sounds like a classic example of be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it is.
You just might get it.
It is, but it's more than that. It's more than just someone who's overwhelmingly infatuated. It's someone whose whole mind is blown because of what you did to her. Yeah. And she's not right in any of those personalities. She's not right, and he's getting scared of her, and it's all his fault. So
yeah, I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, I'm sure you would like it, Wayne. And the horror, it's not typical horror. I don't know if you'll like it or not, John, but it
sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I don't like the.
It's not
get you. Just like scare the crap out of you all at once out of nowhere.
She has some creepy scenes. I mean, there's like one scene I remember when she's first talking weird to him and everything, and she's kind of in shadow, but you just get the light in her eyes when she's talking. Mm-hmm. It's not like special. There's a supernatural element, obviously. And then, he calls the company to find out, how do I break this spell? And he gets this weird call. He goes back to the mystic shop, and there's some weird guy there. He bought it from a woman when he first went to it. And just like anything he does to try to fix it isn't going to fix it, Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Obsession.
Cool. Good deal.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. Check us out on social media. I went through all that. If you got any feedback for us, write us at howweheardit@gmail.com. Thank you for 2 years. It's been a lot of fun for all three of us. Yeah. And we appreciate the listeners. And, share us with your friends and share feedback with us. And we'll come back. Thank you.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, movies, art, culture, whatever it is that's on their mind. How We Heard It was recorded at the Arbor Studio in Knoxville, Tennessee by me, John Baker. How We Heard It is a Cozy Planet production. If listening to this podcast has given you a burning sensation, then we recommend you sit in a hot tub until your symptoms fade away. If you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne or even me, you can send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. So thank you for listening, and come on back and we'll have another episode for you next week.